Welcome back. We've been using the bus now for over 2 years, and I knew when I laid this kitchen out that it was really tight on counter space, but for the most part it's been okay. If you're not cooking, you use this as a countertop, use the top of the fridge as a countertop, and all is well. But once you get the stove open, you start using the stove, and we've been using it more and more often, it kind of leaves you no place to go. So like everybody else, I got the cutting board that sits on top of the sink. And this is great for the most part until you need to use the sink, or you need to get to the sink and you have stuff sitting on this. So when we're not using this, we could have it sitting over here. So I needed to come up with something that was going to work to allow me to use the sink and this at the same time. So the idea of a Lagun table would be nice, but I didn't want to bolt anything onto the side over here. This is where my wife has her, usually sleeps, and her hair will get stuck in it or to bump into it in the nighttime. And the most important thing was, I didn't want to spend any money. So I had to look around for what I had lying around to make something that would allow my table to swivel out of the way, like that. So that was my plan. So if you built a Skoolie, what's the one thing you have lots of leftover parts? You have bus seats. And I didn't throw any of my bus seats away because I'm going to make them into other things. A mini Lagun table that's going to swivel out of the way like that. And I think I might have it do a few other tricks too. So let's get started at building this. This is what's left of one of the bus seats. We already cut it apart, but I need the pieces of tubing that slide into each other. This slides nicely into this side tubing. So we have a long piece here. We're going to cut the brackets off of this, cut this off over here, and do the same thing on these. So I have a longer piece of this that will slide into this tubing. Okay, what are we going to need? We're going to need this and this. Awesome. This saw works great. Some of this will get cut off eventually, but this will slide nicely into this other pipe. Clean up all our metal. And here's how this is going to work. It's going to act as the pivot point. I removed one of the base plates. We're going to weld a longer pipe to it. And that's going to act as our swivel. We need to cut it down to a little smaller size. We got all our parts all cleaned up. The larger pipe, I enlarged the little washer that's going to slide onto this. This is going to be sunk into the cabinet. Where this height's going to be is yet to be determined. We got to kind of drill the hole first and figure out where we want this and then weld it in place. What's left of the foot from the seat, we removed that other piece. This will be the pipe that's going to slide into that. And we are going to weld this on to a longer bracket to support the table. This was scrap lying around, of course. I wouldn't buy this. So it's a piece of like 1/8 steel that I cut and drilled some holes in and round off the edge. I'm going to weld this to this, and then we'll weld this to that. That's welded on now, and now I need to weld this to this, and this is where it's going to be difficult because I need this at a perfect 90-degree angle, and I really want to weld on the inside of this only. But what I might have to do is just stand it up. I have it zip tied to a level and to a square, and I have these angle locators that we're going to stick on it. I'm going to lay it on the flat floor and hopefully get it straight. How did I do? Hopefully okay. Got everything welded up. Now we got to figure out where we want to drill our hole. So we have this upside down right now. The pivot point I want there. So we have our washer kind of stuck in the spot that we need over that way. So I think that's going to work. Allow us to get our swivel to go this way. Measure more than once. And we'll cut a nice big nasty hole in our countertop. If I mess up, I'll find another countertop in the garbage like I did the first time. So I don't think it's going to be a problem. Just got to watch for some wiring that I have running underneath. So let's get this marked and drilled. Okay, let's see what we got. Piece in here. But that's kind of what I want. I want it lower than this. I'll have to cut that pipe a little bit shorter or drill a hole in the base, but you get the idea now. I could almost get away with not even putting this on here. We'll have to see. Here's our test fit. The bracket on the bottom is from a flagpole holder. I kind of bent it to the angle I need. It's going to support the bottom of the pipe. We're going to put 2 screws to keep the pipe from shifting around, and then we'll put a clamp around it to hose it, a hose clamp or something. And table sitting where we want. I want it as tight as I can get it without having the screw heads that are going to be on there to rub. Give it a little test swivel. There we go. Got to pull the pipe out, give it a paint job. I'm still debating on whether I'm going to put the little washer here also to support it. I was expecting all the weight to be off of this and not using the bottom support, but that kind of worked out pretty well. So we might weld it on there anyway. Coated paint. Now we can put it in, level it off. We got our bracket bolted down. I have a hose clamp on the bottom, and there was a couple of zip ties I put in there temporarily when I was first lining it up. I just left them on there. That's nice and sturdy. The top, we did not do the washer. Decided it wasn't worth it. This was sealed up with some silicone. We got our bracket attached to the bottom of the table, fresh coat of paint, and let's see what this thing could do now. All right. We got it right here. We need to use the sink. Swivel it out of the way. If somebody's sitting here, you want more space, raise it up. Got a pin. Have breakfast in bed, swivel it over. If I want to watch something on my laptop, a movie, raise it up one more time. Put the laptop up here, lay in bed with my feet over there, and watch a movie in bed. Perfect. This is low tech, so to keep it from swiveling around when you're driving, here, dish towel. Isn't going anywhere. We're going to give this to the artist eventually, my daughter, and she's going to paint this up, and I will revarnish the top. And this will be all done. Functional table for $0. All right, here's the finished product. My daughter Amanda hit it out of the park again. We got all little sea creatures around here. Table swivels. We mounted our little pin on a magnet to keep it where we wanted. Won't be flying away. So, one more trick I needed it to do. If I need a table somewhere else, I'm just gonna pop it out. And bring it up over here. Now a little extra table. A little bit of swivel out of the way and get up. Real simple bracket. Just fabricated out of one of the other pipes from the bus, if that fits into, and just some sheet steel that was bent around. No holes being drilled here. I just reused some holes that were already in there and mounted in there. Really solid. Plop it in. All right, all finished. And it cost absolutely nothing because we made it out of scrap. That's how we roll.